Welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where professionals in the field inform, educate and then inspire the community to be healthier and balanced and live the lifestyle they love. Our first guest today is health coach Denise Mokadsi. We'll be discussing what the best diet is for you. Do your genetics hold the answers? Welcome, Denise.
Hi, how you going?
With so many diets out there, it can feel overwhelming. Why doesn't one diet fit all of us?
It's so frustrating, isn't it, for people to find what's the right diet or best nutrition advice for them. Because we are all so different, it's hard to have a one diet fits all. It just won't work. And so the genes, our genes, really do hold the answer to what is going to be the best diet for us. And the way that we look at that, because it's food and our genes, it's lifestyle and our biology together, that's epigenetics basically. So it's how do we make our lifestyle work for us given the biology we've got. So maybe some people have heard of epigenetics, but to help people understand what it actually is, it is basically the influence of our lifestyle on our genes. So epi refers to above or beyond the genes, and the genetics part is talking about our DNA. So what changes does our lifestyle bring to our genetics? How does it change the expression of our genes? And when we know that, we can work out maybe what diet is going to be best for us. That's kind of really why one diet doesn't fit everybody, because we're all just so different.
Denise, how can knowing our own genetic makeup help us choose the best diet for our own individual bodies?
This is quite an important one, because if we're eating foods that don't suit our genetics, then it's adding more stress into the body or causing more disease or illness down the track if we continue to do it. So understanding our genes can be very beneficial for that reason. For example, if you've got an allergy to gluten, for example, or your body doesn't process gluten properly, then that's going to be a big stress into your body. So it's helpful to know that you've got a gene or some gene variation that means that you're not going to process gluten properly. We can test for multiple types of foods with gene testing, but also from an epigenetic point of view, we can see how someone is metabolizing carbohydrates or caffeine or fats. And when we know that we've got better predisposition to certain foods, then it just means that we're eating foods that are, like I said, not going to harm us. So, for example, some people you might know have coffee straight after dinner, like an espresso after dinner, and they're fine. It doesn't affect their sleep. But someone else who is a slow caffeine metabolizer, for example, would struggle doing that. They would stay awake all night, or they might even have a coffee earlier in the day after lunch, and it still affects their sleep because they're taking quite a long time to metabolize the caffeine. So that's another way that we could be really helpful for what we're choosing, what foods we're choosing to eat. The other thing that is often missed for a lot of people is the timings of food, and we can work out epigenetically when is going to be best for someone to eat. So for example, someone might be better to just eat one bigger meal during the day and have more that intermittent fasting or fast for long hours throughout the day, whereas someone else, it's much better for their body to eat smaller, more frequent meals. So they might be someone that has 5 or 6 small meals consistently throughout the day compared to someone else that has just one. Or someone will be better to metabolize carbohydrates, so they would be better on a vegetarian kind of diet. Someone can be better metabolizing protein, so they might do well having meat and fish and things like that. So understanding all of that is very helpful. It just takes the guesswork out. You can try to eat all sorts of different foods, but you might notice that you don't feel particularly well after eating a particular food or eating in a certain way. Like if you do eat frequent small meals, like maybe you just don't feel good doing that. So at least the genetic testing takes out the guesswork. You don't have to go through the struggle of like not feeling well because you're eating a certain way or certain foods. And so there's lots of ways that we can actually test for that. We can do genetic testing on sequences of DNA of the codes. And that might be a blood test or a cheek swab or saliva or urine or stool if we're looking for gut issues. Or we can do epigenetic testing from phenotypical measurements. So basically that's what someone looks like, someone's appearance. So we can just do lots of different measures, and the relationship of all of those measures gives us very powerful information. It's super interesting. Like the relationship of your wrist size to your arm length, to your finger length, and to your neck size and your thigh, like all of those measurements give us information how they relate to each other, which gives us clues about the genetics that we've got and how we're interacting with our lifestyle, because how we are doing that is influencing our outcomes, like how we're showing up because of the result of our genes and what we're doing with our lifestyle.
Thanks for such valuable information, Denise.
Thank you.
If you'd like to know more about how genes affects our success in dieting and Denise, please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we have another interesting guest with another interesting topic.